What is going on, everybody? It's Refle here. This is Refle's anime reviews and discussions. And last time, it was the top 5 anime of the mid-season fall 2015. That's just a pain of a title to put together because it's just way too long. But there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, some solid shows for fall 2015 season. But this time we're gonna be heading back a few years to a show that was one of the first romantic comedy dramas that I remember watching. It was probably within the first 5 to 7. And the show is let's see. I want to make sure I get this right. The Pet Girl of Sakurasou. So first off, you probably came into this video if you didn't know anything about this show or the light novel, I think there is. You probably think this show is gonna be really weird and messed up because it has the Pet Girl, but the title, I don't think it actually. In my opinion, it's not a good title because it doesn't really. It just is. I think it's it just seems like a bad translation because there's really no kind of weird pet girl things going on what you would expect. Whereas I can see why they did the title, but there's nothing. I don't think it's a good title. Plain and simple, but that's the title, and it's disappointing that. This might have kind of pushed people away from the show because it's a really good show, which I'll get to in a second. Sorry, I just swallowed wrong. So the show, like I said, is a romantic drama comedy, which I tend to do a lot of those. Which I don't know why. I just kind of like these kind of shows. But like I said, this was one of the first I watched, and this, and like I said, I watched this I want to say 2 years ago, maybe even, yeah, I'd say about 2 years ago for the first time, and I recently went back and rewatched it. I've been rewatching it for the past month, and I finished watching it for the most part, last week. And honestly, I didn't already actually record the review for this, but it was way too long. I got interrupted during the review, and I didn't feel like it was all that great. So hopefully I can do better with this one. But the show centers around a few students at a high school, which it definitely seems more like a college, but it's a high school for the arts. Suma University of the Arts. So it's a high school, even though it definitely it makes it seem like they're in college because they live in dorms and stuff. But it's a high school, and the show basically centers around these students at a place called Sakura Hall, which I think it translates to Sakurasou. So I think so. If not, then it's pretty similar. Sakura Hall, which is where all the very different people and people that seem weird to the basic populace go, and a lot of these people at this place have very unique and skilled talents, but they're just kind of social outcasts for the most part. But the main character for the most part is Sarata Kanda, which I have mentioned this before, but they always have in these wikis I check, it's always Sarata Kanda, and then they have Kanda Sarata. So I can never figure out which one is the first name, which one's the last name. It has Sarata as Okay, I'm just gonna say Sarada for now. Sarada, who is a student who moves to Sakura Hall. He's like the fourth member to join, and he's kind of forced to move there because he brings in cats and stuff, and you're not allowed to have cats in the regular dorm. So he moves to this dorm. He doesn't really want to, and his plan is to basically leave as soon as he can. All right, sorry, I got interrupted again. Where did I leave off? So he, yeah, he wants to leave Sakura Hall because he doesn't feel like he fits in and all that. Because for the most part, he's the most normal of everybody there. Yeah, so he's kind of the main character, and the first episode, he's kind of asked to go pick up, what's her name? A teacher who's in charge of the building, the hall. Chihiro Sengoku. She asked Sarata to pick up her niece or something like that up from the train, and we are introduced to Mashiro Shina, who is she's a unique character. She heads to a school to kind of work on manga and stuff like that, but she is a world famous artist who's given up painting and has decided to become a manga artist instead. And she's a very unique character. She's very special, and she's very like socially inept in a lot of ways. Like, she doesn't know how to interact with people. She doesn't really know how to like get herself ready in the morning. Like, she's very reliable on others, and she doesn't think like a normal person would. She's very unique, and very few characters I've seen in anime are like her, and I really like her as a character. She's funny. She's interesting. She's likable. Like, she's all of those. She's just a really good character. And like I said, she's special. So there's a lot of scenarios that pop up that just demonstrate that she's not like special needs or anything like that, but she's kind of, people who are like geniuses, but they have kind of like certain ways they act, and they just kind of seem different from everybody else. Like, that's basically her. But Sarada goes and picks her up, and that's kind of where things jump off. And I'll just name off the rest of kind of the main characters. There's Nanami Ayama, who I think is the last person to join kind of the hall for the show. And she's a friend of Sarada's. And she's kind of forced to move to Sakura Hall because she needs to find a cheap apartment because she doesn't get support from her family for this because she's going against her will. And she works a lot, and she wants to be a voice actress. And she has a thing for Sarata. And there's a bit of a love triangle, as I'll mention later on with the show. There is Mizaki Kamagusa, who is she's very outgoing and optimistic and very energetic and loud. She's just a ball of energy, and she's very weird. She's the first person to kind of be at Sakura Hall out of all the people there, and yeah, I like her as a character. She's just very very different. She brings a different atmosphere compared to everybody else. And she has this whole thing with Jin Mitaka, who is her friend from, I guess, middle school and stuff like that. And he's kind of like the cool guy who's a bit of a playboy because he, from what I read into from the show, he basically like goes out and like bangs. He has mistresses or whatever. Like he goes out and bangs chicks at night. From what I gather, maybe I'm just misinterpreting it, but that's what he is. But he helps out Sarata a few times throughout the show, and overall he's a good character too. I think all of the main cast is really really well done. And then lastly, and Jin and Misaki kind of have they have a thing for each other, and that kind of gets developed later on in the show because it's 24 episodes for the show. But there's one more character I want to talk about, Rinosuke Akasaka. He basically just lives inside his room. Like, you don't see him until halfway through the show for the first time. And he's kind of like a hacker, computer genius kind of person. He's a computer programming expert. And he's a weird character. He's a shut-in nerd who doesn't like to talk to people. And he eats tomatoes, and it's really nasty when he eats tomatoes. But yeah, that's kind of the main core at Sakura Hall. And the thing I love about the show is how good the characters are. These 5 characters seem, pretty simple at first, but and they can kind of run off stereotypes in anime, but they're very, very deep, in my opinion. Like, I really feel like as far as characters and a romantic drama comedy, these characters are way deeper than pretty much most shows I've seen, and each character has grows throughout and changes in a certain way. Like Mashiro completely, by the end of the show, she's very, very different from what she arrives, and a lot of that's just due to because what happens. Like, all these characters change in some way. We all deal with issues, and yeah, just really good characters. Like, I like them. I don't really have any complaints about any of them. But I guess I'll focus on the main story. Like, this is a hard show to talk about because there's a lot to talk about. But yeah, quickly, the main story. First few episodes, I'd say first 8, kind of focus on Sheena and Sarata's relationship. And basically, Sarata takes care of Sheena. It's called Mashiro duty, and he's assigned to it. So he basically does everything for her. There's some weird scenes and funny scenes throughout that period. But over the course of that 8-episode segment, the relationship kind of grows, and you can kind of see that Sheena really cares for, Sheena really likes Sarata, and she doesn't really understand it because she's like I said, she's very socially weird compared to most people, and you can see Sarata also has kind of a thing for her, and that's where the love triangle comes in with Inami, Sheena, and Sarata. And that kind of love triangle hits a point within a few episodes after, I would say probably around episode 13, 14, and they kind of dismiss it for a few episodes, but you kind of, I think overall you do get a finalized answer as to who is with who. So, and there's also the Misaki and Jin thing that occurs. So yeah, that's a major plot in like the first half of the show. Then it kind of focuses on like a major school project that they work together on, and Sarasa, I should mention, he wants to become a game designer, and that kind of that meets like that storyline kind of goes and meets its peak during that period of their school project. And then later on, it kind of focuses more on Sakura Hall and the residents. So there's like little just arcs within the show, and they're all really good. Like the show is like it has a great mixture of like being funny and being a drama and having interesting characters talk about stuff, and you want to pay attention, and there's just scenes that have a lot of emotion in it too. There's scenes where like the character, like, it's just very powerful scenes that I don't really want to talk about because I don't want to spoil it, but it has just a wide range of emotions in the show, and I feel like they hit on all of it. So yeah, it's just so good. It's just a really good show. Yeah, it's just a show that kind of is about these characters that change over time, dealing with their relationships with people in and out of Sakura Hall. And they all change in some way, and they all grow, and they all are deep, and they all have stuff that you really don't know about until later on in the show. Yeah, I feel like that's all I want to talk about. Like, I want to say this. This show is very, very good. Like, you should watch it. I'm not. I hate I hate doing these reviews because, or I don't hate doing them, but like I hate in these reviews, and I can't like talk about story stuff because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. And like even like the slightest thing, I feel like would hurt because like if somebody told me about a certain part, even though it happened in like the second episode, like I want to experience that for myself. So it's really hard to talk about this without giving specific story parts or like mentioning a specific moment because I don't want to spoil those moments. So, and it really, the point, it really like shows that like aren't that good. Like I will be more prone to like talk about it, but shows that are really good, I don't really want to talk much about the show because I don't want to spoil anything. But this show, in my opinion, it's a 10 out of 10 show. Like I'm gonna 10 out of 10. It's that good. I would say it's the best romantic comedy drama anime I've seen, and one of the best animes period I've watched. It's not my favorite romantic comedy, and that's I'll talk about that show some other time. But it's one of my favorites, and I think it's probably the best. And I don't hear enough people mentioning it, but I definitely believe it should be mentioned with kind of the best of the best. It's better than Toradora in my opinion, which a lot of people really like, and it's better than Haganai, which I really liked. And I haven't watched Anohana or Clonad. I need to watch those still. I'll get to it eventually. But I feel like this show just hits on all of its points. There's good drama, good comedy. It's a really funny show, I should point out. There's tons of hilarious moments. And like I said, the highs of comedy are just as good as the highs in the drama. So just all around, just very good show. Characters you'll really like. There's some weird moments throughout, but if you are familiar with anime, it shouldn't bother you. And even if you don't like these types of shows, I would recommend it because it just gives you a new perspective on watching anime, and it's one of the best shows you can watch. It's just really, really good. It's a 10 out of 10. A Refle 10 out of 10. It might be the first Refle out of 10 out of 10. I think I gave Dragon Ball Z a 5 out of 5. So basically, it's the first official 10 out of 10, but not the first perfect score given out. But yeah, it's just really good, and you should watch it. And yeah, if you have any more questions about the show, let me know in the comments. It's a really well. I should point out it's. I always forget the word for this. It's very. Design is really well done, if that's what I'm trying to say. The animation is really well done. I should point out. I think that's what I was trying to say. But yeah, it's really good. You should watch it, even if you aren't a fan of these show, this kind of this genre. I still would recommend it. Yeah, it's a show I will be going back and watching every so often, and watching it a second time through. It was probably better than. I thought it was better than the first time I watched it, which rarely ever happens, because you kind of know what to expect. But this time I get to kind of read more into stuff, and I feel like it got better by doing that. So yeah, it's just a fantastic show. One of my favorites, and I'm glad I was able to watch it like so early on, and kind of my entry to this genre, and kind of my getting back into anime. Period. Really, this was probably one of the first few shows that I watched, and if I didn't have kind of these types of shows, I probably wouldn't have gotten really back into it. But yeah, it's never time I'll talk about that. But for now, watch The Pet Girl of Sakurasou. It has a weird title, but don't worry about it. It's really good. It's fantastic, actually, and you won't regret it. Yeah, I should point out that there probably won't be more from the show, even though they could possibly do more. But I feel like it ends on a solid note. So yeah. So next time on Refle's anime reviews and discussions, hopefully I can get this up soon, because I've been kind of not be able to get these up as regularly as I could. But next time I gotta find another show, because this fall season still has a few more weeks until it's over, and I'm not really I know what I should be reviewing, but I haven't finished watching it. But I'll try to find something rather soon. I'll try to get these up quicker than I have been. But I got finals the next few weeks, a lot of papers. So January should be a good time to watch a whole bunch of these, and I'll try to record a whole bunch. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the show. It's fantastic. One of the best animes. Anime, not animes. Anime is already plural, I think. One of the best anime you can watch. And, yeah. Watch it. Watch it. Watch it. Just keep watching it. Don't ever stop. Thanks for watching.